What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the 46th episode of the Decompression Chamber. I'm your host, Mario, and our opening quote is going to be from the TV show BoJack Horseman. The quote's from the character Todd, and he says, "You can't keep doing shitty things and then feel bad about yourself like that makes it okay. You need to be better." Roll the intro.
Looks like into me, no doubt that I never be without my damn brain. Closed mouth, I'm clever and I know my damn shame. No cloud to the better, no one know my damn name. No bow, that shit what I guess we about to cascade.
Yeah, I mean, that one kind of speaks for itself. I think that I myself at times have used like the bad consequences that have fallen upon me to justify me taking a victimized status, and yeah, it's not just realizing that what you did is shit and feeling bad about it. You have to make effort to improve, and that's the process, really. I mean, I don't know, BoJack Horseman, I've been made fun of by my friends a lot because of how much I love it, but it does look like a silly premise. Yes, it is just a talking horse, for fuck's sake, but it's a lot more than that as well. At least that's my belief. In any case, I hope you're having a good whatever. Right now it's like I'm always filming these things late, and realistically, it's not like I don't have spare time. I do spend a lot of the day moseying around, particularly now that I don't have any more schoolwork left to do. Yeah, I spend a lot of the time. I have plenty of time to do this, and yet I always feel like it should be an evening occasion. I don't know why. It's not even like I normally do a complete summation of my day, particularly like up to that point. But maybe it's just that I'm in more of a contemplative state at this time of night. Like a lot of the time, I guess in the day, I'm focused on like what I can get done in terms of what I want to do in the immediate, and I guess by the time I've got to the evening, whatever major things I want to have happened that day will have happened. So I hope that makes sense. In any case, it is like 12:30 at night, and I am just currently chilling. I was going to roll into something like that, was going to segue into something, but no, just a general statement of how I am. I'm chilling. I'm trying to keep my habits in check. I'm trying to, push forward with these videos that I'm trying to make, but progress is progress, and sometimes that's slow, sometimes it's fast. But yeah, one thing I wanted to talk about, I've been meaning to talk about this for a long while. It's something that I think is not only a true fact about life, but is a statement that can be applied widely to modern society. But I've always remarked with people that I'm close with that this is particularly true for women that I know, that lots of women or folk with long hair who have straight hair have a curling iron, and lots of people who have long curly hair have a hair straightener. Like, no matter what you are, like, no matter like the way that you've turned out to be, society finds a way to tell you that it's wrong to be that way. Oh, are you slightly skinnier than the typical, like, quote unquote average stereotype of what a body should be like? Then you need to weigh more. Or are you slightly more overweight than in comparison? Well, then you have to weigh less. Like, obviously everything has different, like, that's not the best comparison, but you know the point I'm trying to make. Like, no matter what you are, I think we live in a society and all that, but I think there's something to be said about the fact that I think there's serious obstacles in modern society for people to just feel okay for the way they are. And I don't mean to say like, oh, you're perfectly okay and there's no way you can improve and you should just stop that, but I just think there's a kind of a low level, there's just a need for a basic comprehension of having I guess just the ideas of what people can and should be need to be broadened in some cases. And those things about appearance, I think they're kind of used to leverage people's self-esteem to buy shit, like, oh, you have to buy this product or this machine or this app with these filters. Like, it's all part of this monetizing process to fucking squeeze money out of people. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I was playing a drinking game this evening, and one of the questions that came up was like about what somebody's like favorite like part of their appearance was, or like what was the physical feature of theirs they most liked. And it's a bit of a weird question. Obviously these drinking games are just like sort of random phone with like prompts and stuff, but like, yeah, I don't know. I can't say I've ever looked in the mirror and been like, oh, that particularly is the thing that's tying it all together, like the rug in the Big Lebowski. But I don't know. Sometimes I'll wake up, I'll look in the mirror, I'm feeling good, I'm like, hey, looking good. And then, sometimes I'll just be looking in the mirror, I'm like, woof, this is what I've been given, So it's that thing again. I talk about it probably every episode. It's just like the thing itself doesn't change as much as where you're seeing it from, And this is an argument I kind of had a bit with my uncle, who's a vicar, because obviously he's religious and he believes in God, and he was kind of talking about how, there is no morality, there is no objectivity without God. And I'm like, yeah, no, I agree, but I'm on the other end of that, I think that, well, not necessarily, I don't necessarily think that there's no morality, but I definitely think that there's no objectivity without God, because I've always thought that if there was an objective morality or kind of many objective truths in the world, there has to be like an objective party that explicitly states the objective truth. That's why I think I get my head around science and accept it as an institution, is because I understand the process of science. I'm like, yeah, this isn't like, obviously there's certain areas where there's biases and there's inside politics and there's, different power structures and all of this, but in general, because it's based on like a widespread community that like checks itself and like is based off like consensus and not just like one person or one like party, I can agree with the stuff that it puts out as like, yeah, this is what we say, I believe the vaccines are, jab yourself up, let's go, let's hope these numbers keep falling. But yeah, I guess to tie this back to what I was saying about religion is that I don't know, I think that if morality was objective, it'd have to be stated objectively by something. And so I can understand why, if you believed in God, that would then make you believe that morality was objective. But personally, I just don't see it that way. I think morality is subjective, and I think that even just in the fact that different people read religions in different ways as followers of the religion shows that the morality isn't exactly objective, because people are taking it differently. And even if you say that it's objective, that's your subjective interpretation of the quote-unquote objective, Like, at the end of the day, I was called a postmodernist by my uncle, and I'm like, well, yeah, that might be an accurate way of representing it, but it's also like, it's just one of those things. It's the way you view it. I don't know. Hopefully that gives you something to chew on while you're listening to this. I often think while I'm recording these videos, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, what is somebody actually doing while I'm filming this video? And I guess the fact that I'm just sat here speaking in front of my computer means that you must not be up to much either. No, I'm joking. Hope you're doing well. But, I mean, yeah, I've been watching videos about the origins of cinema today, and it's kind of weird because it's stuff that I've, kind of dabbled in terms of like researching, because I did film studies at A-level, and I've had some theoretical stuff going on here in my first year of uni, but because I'm really trying to get some more in-depth knowledge, I'm having to actually like get stuck in and pay attention to all of these different, like, I used to take such a backseat to my learning at A-level, because I was just like, I saw it as an obligation, not as a passion. And now, because it's an actual interest of mine, I'm writing notes, I'm watching documentaries, I'm dissecting them, I'm trying to cross-reference video essays about the origins of cinema with documentaries about the origins of cinema. And then because the origins of Spanish cinema emerged kind of throughout that and didn't start at the same time, it kind of was a bit delayed. It means I have to do my own research of that and then kind of try and thread it together with writing. So it is going to be a bit of a process. I think I haven't necessarily bitten off more than what I could chew, but it's kind of like I cut myself a piece of steak and convinced myself that was all I was eating, when in reality there's the whole steak to eat. But I'm excited. It's something to kind of mull over intellectually. It's a challenge, and realistically, I'm trying to work on my communication skills, which is to say, like, I have a particular tone that I want to set, and I want a particular kind of message. It's going to be informative, hopefully, but also a bit kind of fun and jazzy. And I mean, I've never done a video essay of this type before, so it will be experimental in a way. I mean, I don't know. One of the things that I've mentioned this before. One of the things my main lecturer at uni says is, "Don't be boring." That's the number one rule of filmmaking, and that's something that I'm playing into my mind as I think about it. Because it's the one that I'm filming right now is likely to be more than 10 minutes. It's hard to say for sure, but like it could be. It's definitely going to be more than 7 minutes. It's definitely. But yeah, it's going to be a long one. So therefore, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in editing rooms. So that's going to be fun as well. I mean, personally, I'm not really the biggest fan of editing, but in terms of me doing it, I can really appreciate good editing in a film. Like, don't get me wrong, I could speak about it for a long time, but it's just a very repetitive process. There's lots of little, like, tricky and, like, fiddly bits where, like, for example, thing is I can use, like, an interface of a technological thing because most of them are built to be intuitive. However, like, things about video specification, sound specifications, how they combine, different like on the editing software we use at school, which is Premiere Pro. It's an Adobe one, and by the way, I hate Adobe, and I'm going to speak about that after this. But yeah, you go to export, which is like to compile and like put all your project into one video and like save it as a file. There are like 4 different tabs with 6 different sections that have boxes to tick, and like certain boxes that you have to fill with certain numbers. And obviously, like, if you go with the defaults and stuff, you'll be alright, but there's so much that can be adjusted. There's so much at play. So it's just one of those things that I will have to develop knowledge for to sustain my own creative efforts, but also just to kind of be a bit more versatile, and yeah, hopefully I can make evidence of that in the future. I'm hoping next 2 weeks, but it's going to be hard to do. Oh yeah, I was going to speak about Adobe. I hate them so much. I got really good feedback on this documentary I edited for school, #humblebrag, but for that documentary there was a big part of it I edited on my laptop, and I don't have access to like Adobe Cloud from my school account. For some reason, they weren't able to get it to us. So I signed up to these free trials from Adobe because I was like, fuck it, I need to edit this. And I didn't want to use DaVinci Resolve because I was already familiar with this Premiere Pro, and I was like, I don't feel confident that I can learn to use an editing software like on the fly. I could have genuinely used YouTube videos, but I'm lazy like this. Anyway, I signed up to this free trial, and because it had this dumb issue where I couldn't access the editing software until I was on the cloud, but for some reason the cloud would show a random error, and there was no customer service in any way that was helpful. Like, no chat line, no, this little chat fucking things you can enter, or a number to call, or an email, literally nothing. And so, yeah, I had to make another account, which I forgot to sign away from, and they absolutely fucking dinged me with like a £200 termination fee because I had to cancel an annual subscription that I didn't know I was subscribing to, which is absolutely mental, and I feel frustrated because it really is my fault, but it's also Adobe's fault. So I'm going to make sure I pirate all their stuff in the future, and you can use this video as evidence in court in the future. Adobe, fuck you. I hate you so much. I'm not even joking, I hate Adobe, and I'm really pissed that Premiere is the industry standard. But hey, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I want the studio system to collapse. I want pretty much every major institution in cinema to collapse so that it can be rebuilt by independent filmmakers. And I know that that's completely ludicrous and it probably won't happen, but It's real nice to think about. Anyway, I'm posting this on a major corporate mainstream platform, which is free to do. So, I'm having my cake and eating it too by saying this and by posting it. In any case, I hope that you found some source of entertainment in this late night ramble. And I hope that you have a positive and hopeful future. That's something I've been thinking about recently as well. Is gratitude for what you have, but also hope for what you could have. That I've always taken it for granted, the idea of hope in like film and books and TVs. But if you really do lean into it, hope can be powerful. Look at me, the original. The first person ever to speak about how hope can make you feel positive about the future. And it's not a fixed situation, but I found that when I am hopeful for the future, it makes me address things that are coming up with a more positive and engaged outlook. Anyway, I kind of interrupted my own outro, so outro number 2, see you later.
For the shade, I don't wanna give myself no option, so I drop the visor just to wake up. Ain't no tripping over pay stubs, ain't no tripping on the vague stuff. All the things that I can make up, I might think of not a maker. Wait. No grayer I see, never think about the consequences if you hate.